I understand and I hear you, Afam. I think what they are doing is none of that.
You receive what I'm saying. You receive what I'm saying.
I receive, I internalize, and I absolutely throw it away because I don't think that's what
and
they
digest.
did.
No,
I'm
digest.
supposed to digest first before I throw it away.
Yeah, first you digest.
Okay,
yeah.
I digest.
None of it was real.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 30% podcast. This is episode 60 of the 30% podcast. We thoroughly enjoy you guys being with us. I'm pretty sure Afam agrees. Does Afam agree?
I really much do.
I really much do. Spoken like a true Englishman. This podcast is offered on Spotify for podcasts. It's offered on Anchor Podcasts. It's offered on Google Podcasts. It's offered on Apple Podcasts. And you can get the episodes on YouTube. We are also on social media. That's the 30% pod, the 30% pod on Instagram, Twitter. It's like no one cares about X. Twitter, Threads, I think, and TikTok. Is there anyone I'm missing?
LinkedIn as well.
And LinkedIn. We're on, well, yes, we're on LinkedIn. And we're actual human beings in real life. So you can catch us in real life IRL. Afam.
What's up?
What's going on?
What's going on? Oh, what's going on? Nothing much, man.
It's happening with you on this 60th episode.
Nothing much on this 60th episode. Wow, big 60, big 60. Listen, 60 seconds make a minute, 60 minutes make an hour.
60
Do
podcasts
that
make
information what you will. 60 podcasts make a amazing time that you are spending with the 30% pod boys.
Should have thought about that more.
But
Anyway,
what's going on?
Yeah, how's your week been? I guess we can get into that.
My week's been good.
Yep.
Been working on music. Been working on a release that's coming out next Friday with my artist.
Can
Foster
you play a snippet on the
Nicks.
podcast?
No, we cannot.
Nice.
But we will
Shut
talk
down.
about it when it's out. But yeah. So just been working on music for that.
Yeah.
Been working on a bunch of beats. Been working on another secret project, which I can't really get into much details, but it's really cool. So I'm working on that as well. And the year has started well. So
Yep.
hopefully can take in or can keep. Sorry. And then also, I'm just waffling here. The video with Lil Minor came out during the week, which was really insane, really dope. The reception was really great.
I only know that part. Actually, I need to listen to that song. I don't know the lyrics. All I know is Coco Butter. It's good to have a very good.
Coco Butter. Anyway, the video came out. I was in the video at the end, which was so cringy for me to see myself in a music video.
Afam, I 100% support you. You know you're my guy, but fam, they didn't do you right. Go look at the video. Go look at the video. Go see what Afam was up to, man.
It's my fault. It's my fault. It's like, why did
you look so lost?
What was I doing, man?
Bro looked like he didn't belong there at all. It was crazy.
Bro, yeah. Anyway, you can see my 2 seconds of fame. Not even 2 seconds, probably less of fame on the Coco Butter video.
Shout out Lil Minor
by
for
Lil
putting Afam
Minor
on.
and Dansky. Shout out to him for putting me on for sure, bro. That came out. That was exciting.
Yeah.
Just seeing the numbers going up and seeing the engagement and interaction. And man. Hopefully I can. Here's to many more. Here's to many more.
Were you holding? Afam was holding up a fake glass.
No. Okay, here's one.
Now you
Here's
have a
to
real glass.
Many more.
Here's to many more.
Yes.
That glass is empty. There's nothing in there, bro. You can't toast emptiness.
Why are you exposing me like this, Sam? Come on.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. How
My
was
bad.
your week? How was your week? How was
Dang,
yours?
week was good. It was really good. It was very creative. I think I made an average of.
Everybody's so creative.
Yeah, I made an average of, I want to say, 2 tracks a day. Like, it's been ridiculous. Like, I've been sleeping at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. And it's been a while since I've been doing that. So I've been really leaning into it. I've been doing a lot of amapiano, which is fun. Amapiano is a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Like, I thought it's just getting on and making the same thing over and over again. But there's so many different ways you can take it. I particularly am working on an electro piano type of deal where it's more like EDM-y, because I'm also an EDM producer. So it's more like an EDM-y take on it. So it's very simple, almost structured amapiano in an EDM way kind of deal. So nice. Yeah, that's cool. Reaching out to artists, sending them stuff. A couple of people liked it, and then also been planning. There's a few people who I'm working with that are just trying to plan their releases and how we're going about their careers currently. So I've been getting into more of the planning part of music, not necessarily like not producing, but then the back end and all that stuff, which is really cool. I think it's very cool. It's very interesting, exciting. So that's really honestly what I've been up to. And staying alive.
Nice.
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
We're supposed to do it together.
Staying alive. Offbeat. Okay, anyway, bro, shout out to you for staying alive.
Shout out to me for staying alive.
Sam, what was captivating your attention?
Depends
in
on
the
what we're
Kenyan
starting with.
Music industry.
Should we start somber or should we start with seriousness?
Let's start with a mixture of serious and somber. So, Sam.
Yeah.
MCSK, bro. It's the saddest story in history of sadness.
Yeah, that's like, so, I mean, going through the interwebs, and then I see an article about a tweet by Nonini. And if you don't know Nonini, where have you been? He's a legend in the Kenyan industry. So anyways, he was just basically...
Do you know... wait, before you go on. Do you know this is how I found out his real name?
Really? He thought his name was Nonini.
Real name. No, I just never thought of thinking about his real name.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So he's actually based in the US. Yeah, that's crazy. Did they send him the money? Bro, okay. So MCSK decide.
If they did send him the money, it would equate to $8.
That's barely $1. So yeah, what do you call it? MCSK got a little bit of money. They came into some money, and they decided that they were going to share that money equally among all the, was it 16,000 plus
How benevolent
artists?
of them. How benevolent.
Oh man, there's so many things wrong about this. They decided they're going to share that money equally among the 16,000 plus, I guess, artists that we have that are signed up to their platform. So I guess, I don't know, I think it was maybe 20 something million. I don't know the exact numbers, but that came up to around 1,200 and a whopping 1,200 and a crazily, mind-blowingly whopping 1,250 shillings per head.
What? Sam, people are going to make 1,200 bob from their hard-earned music.
Their hard-earned music that has been played for years and years.
Think about this. Think about this, Sam.
Yeah.
You invest 100,000 doing a music video. You invest 100,000 into recording the whole album with the mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
You invest around 60,000 just to do the PR run. You know, just to to talk to the press and everything. You do the whole 60,000, right? You pay the people who do your artwork. You pay the people who do your, just the random visuals on your Instagram and social media.
Yeah.
And Sam, all this is building up to the big 1,250 that's going to come into your bank account to justify all the hard work you did for your music. Mm-hmm. Let's clap it up for MCSK,
Shout out
Sam.
to them.
Let's clap it up for them, bro.
Shout out to them. Now,
amazing.
Yeah. Oh, so they're sharing 16 million, not 20. Sorry, I misquoted that. They're sharing 16 million, which is a lot of money. Now, MCSK CEO Ezekiel Mutua, shout out to you, sir, dismissed
what a guy,
the assertion, saying the monies will be distributed in two ways, in general and scientific. Afam, please tell me what that means.
Bro, me when I saw them describing it as scientific, I'm like, bro, this guy himself doesn't even know what that means.
So
he doesn't even know what that means.
With science, don't you have to have like a method to distribute these things? You can't just like, hey, our method is we're just going to have, everyone gets, it's Oprah all of a sudden. Everyone gets part of the money. That's
you get a car, you get 1250, you get 1250, you get
1250.
Listen, Sam, this is the biggest red flag, first of all. Giving people a general amount that's standard, just giving people everybody who makes music, that's a red flag. That's a red flag, a huge one. Because listen, in any industry, like if they're giving you you guys will all get $10, that's a red flag, because that's you being finessed. It's like, okay, we'll give you something, and then you'll feel like we're giving you something. No, give me what I'm owed. Like if you're giving an artist who has earned $1,250 for the year, that's fine. But me, an artist who has done all this work, and give people the money that they have worked for. Essentially, it's kind of, you don't give people like as
your scientific system needs to be actually scientific. Of course, there was pushback. He said that that of course we are not just giving everyone money, which is exactly what they're doing. But there's like, we are going to award them royalties based on how much they've played and all. And we've seen, so the problem with that is we've seen what has happened in the past, so we don't believe you. We honestly really don't believe these people. And it seems like we are being harsh on them, but this is a major way, or rather the way that's supported by the government, quote unquote, supported by the government, that artists can earn money. And if this is how people are going about it, how on earth, what do we have? Like, just how? What? I don't know, man. It's just,
it's horrible.
It's ridiculous.
Listen. MCSK is a joke, and it makes, and you know the thing is, like, they make the music industry seem like such a, but listen,
such a plaything. They don't take it seriously. It's not. It doesn't look like that. That's actually taking art seriously in that way. It's more like, oh, let's just do whatever, and you guys have to be okay with it. That's like, why?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and the thing is, they collect the monies that are generated from music very efficiently.
Facts,
they have all the representatives, or what do they call them, officers, who go around collecting all these monies from the matatus, from the restaurant establishments, from the clubs. Permitting them to play music. But hey, when it comes to actually paying out the artists,
it's not that serious,
it's
guys.
An issue.
It's not that serious.
It's an issue, man.
I hope they clear it up.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah. Sorry.
Listen, no, Sam. At this point, listen. Maybe this is reckless for me to say. I personally don't care if they cleaned up or not.
These views are Afam and Afam's views.
No, listen, I don't care, because as Kenyan artists, I can tell you, they are very. Listen, Nonini even stated that he left. He's no longer part of MCSK or whatever. Like he must
have left money on the table too.
But there are multiple ways to collect your royalties outside of these MCSK guys, and it's just, this is the fact of the matter. Your MCSK are not gonna save us. They're not. Sam, look at me. They are not going to save us.
Why do I have to look at you?
They're not.
You can
So listen, there are other ways to collect your monies. There are other PROs that you can involve yourself with.
Especially since music is more global now, and a lot of it is not just within your region. Like, you can appeal to other regions because of the internet. Like, it's probably good to look at how to get your music collected. I mean, the revenue collected in other places, not just locally. So
exactly. Listen, maybe I'm being a pessimist, but like,
you don't think it's going to change?
It's too much money they're making, man. They're making too much money. So even whether it's Ezekiel Mutua, whether it's the next guy who comes in, that money is way too much, and it's always gonna be a matter of contention, and people
it has always been, and it always will be.
Pockets,
unfortunately.
Yeah, they're gonna want to line our pockets with money that we're generating for them for free. Yeah. So how about we figure out our own ways in which we can thrive?
Yeah.
Because bro, it's what are we gonna do? Like, listen, Sam. these leaders are gonna be corrupt. They're gonna corrupt. Corruption is gonna corrupt.
You know what's annoying is that whenever they give out information like this, like it's not clear. Like we don't have a clear, this is what's happening, this is what's happening. Even the numbers here I'm hearing 16 million, here I'm hearing 20 million, I'm hearing they're giving out 5,000 to artists, they're giving out 1,200. What the heck?
The red flag is already in them giving people a specific value of money. No, other music industries, they'll give you what you're owed. They won't give you they won't say now everybody gets $10. That's how you're being finessed.
Yeah, it's looking a lot like,
and then we'll engage in
online.
Scientific methods. What are those scientific methods, Sam? What are they really? What are they? You know what I mean?
So yeah, man, it's crazy. You just can't. Shout out to people who are thinking differently and doing things differently, because you're the ones who are going to further. We can't be. That's $8, bro. It's $8. What am I going to do with $8 after my music has been played?
Nothing.
And why isn't that important? Why isn't that an important form? See, now I'm getting to rant mode. All right, let's go. Let's move on, man. Just y'all need to act right. Sorry, MCSK. I know y'all need to act right. You just have to. And if some of the information being put out is wrong, how about you give us clear, concise information with the data to back it up that people can actually say, okay, this is deserved and this is deserved and this is deserved. Rather than coming out of the gate talking about, oh, we're really happy that artists are going to earn from the music, and then it's 1,200 and we're all up in arms because we don't really know what that means. Like, what does that mean for my statistics as an artist? Because artists are supposed to look at that data and plan their future projects, plan their singles, plan the way they move. But we can't plan anything off, hey, everyone gets $1. It just doesn't make much sense. Anyway.
It doesn't. I don't know. We all have to hold their feet to the fire and hope for the best, because honestly, it's not looking good, fam.
Yeah, it's not looking
good, fam.
It's not looking good. Have the audacity to be proud of that news.
Headline is bringing bile into my mouth, man. It's bitter taste.
It's not very tasty. Ugh. Distasteful news.
No, not at all.
Literally distasteful news.
Let me see. Okay, so there's one thing I wanted to bring up as well. So this is music industry related. So a friend of mine, Benjamin Otoile.
Hey, shout out to him.
He started a YouTube series called the Music Business Academy. And he actually just sent this to me. So Benjamin Otoile, he's worked at Boomplay. He's also managed Saru. And he's also done a lot of stuff like with the dance crews in the country. They worked a lot of stuff with them on YouTube and just monetizing that type of content on YouTube and stuff like that. But he's really, really building a niche in the music industry for himself. And he's, like I said, he started a series called the Music Business Academy, where he'll be taking people through what the music industry is about, financial literacy and just all that type of stuff, releasing music consistently, being aware of the different facets of music, whether it's distribution, whether it's publishing,
the technicals of it, and
the technicalities. And I've watched two of his episodes. His intro, where he kind of just explains who he is and the space that he occupies in the music industry. And then I watched a different one where he just talks about the people he's worked with, his experience, as well as just describing what the academy is going to be and what he's hoping to achieve. So if you are in the music industry and you're lost, because the music industry is very complex. There's so many moving parts and it's very complicated. And so sometimes you need some of these type of individuals who kind of break it down into, more digestible chunks. So this is stuff you can find on YouTube for free. So I would urge you guys, if you are interested in learning more about the music industry, to check out Benjamin Otoile. I think he's doing some really dope stuff.
It's really cool.
For the
It's really cool.
scene. I wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, I checked out 2 episodes. I mean, it's always good. It's always, and it's partly obviously why we're on here talking. Is to give information to artists. Not to say that we know everything, but then just using our own experience and our opinions and what we've seen work is to give information to artists that might not necessarily be thinking that there is a whole world behind just the studio. And so, like, being an artist, there's so many things involved, and whoever currently for our industry to grow, we also need to have a lot of information and a lot of people who know how to go about some of these things in at a high level. And how you do is start by just knowing. So it's really good. Like, I watched 2 episodes, and I'm definitely looking to see what, like, I'm genuinely interested in my own to learn from what he's done. And
bro, one thing about this music industry, you never stop learning, man.
Oh, no,
like Sam and I the other day, let me expose us a little bit. We were kind of like going through how producers should make money.
Oh yeah,
I know. Like we should definitely know all the answers, already. But we don't. Like, even us, we were like,
it's super technical, and there's just so many things.
Thinking about all the percentages, what's actually acceptable in the industry. Like, this is information that it changes all the time.
Yeah.
It's different here and there. Like, the way things operate here in Kenya is not the way things operate like in general. So just like knowing all this type of stuff, it's hard. You sometimes you do need really information.
So it's cool. It's cool that there's people who are doing that.
Who are willing to share.
Yeah, it's cool that there's people who are doing that, especially people with a lot of experience in different areas and in different fields too, because he's not just music. He's worked with like dancing. He's worked with some video. So it's really cool to see him. And shout out to him. I really hope that your goal with it is reached. I guess that's the most important thing. So
yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So the last, so for me, this is the last bit of news that kind of caught my eye. I know last podcast we shared the open calls from Goethe Institute.
Yep.
There's another open call brought to you by the Nawiri Fellowship. It is I think Nawiri. It's brought to you, by Nawiri Fellowship, brought to you by the Nawi Afrifem Collective. And they're looking for artists for its first fellowship program to take place on the week of Monday, January the 29th to Saturday, February the 3rd of 2024. The deadline for application is January 23rd by 11:59 p.m.
Yeah.
Ooh.
11:59.
So passed. Oh, man. Anyway, but anyway, this is a fellowship. It would have passed by the time this podcast comes out. But this artist fellowship is brought to you by Nawi Collective. They're a group of African women who believe that the economic systems and policies guiding our countries and the global economy are anti-poor, anti-labor, anti-women, anti-joy, anti-beauty, anti-sustainability, and therefore fundamentally at odds with life. We are a collective helping to build a community of African women researchers, writers, artists, healers, and dreamers committed to analyzing, giving language to, changing the language of, and influencing the policies guiding our macroeconomic systems.
Yeah.
So essentially, during this multidisciplinary fellowship, artists will be inspired to create art that explores the effects of economic policies on the communities we live in and the effects of the political economy on our everyday lives. You are eligible to apply if you are an artist or creative exploring art and culture. This includes, but are not limited to, fine artist, musician, graphic designer, poet, writer, songwriter, photographer, etc. And you are female or non-binary Kenyan, available to meet in Nairobi within the program dates and between the ages of 18 and 33. There will be a stipend that would be afforded to you.
It's probably more than MCSK is going to give.
Oh, yeah, definitely way more than MCSK is going to give you. So if you feel like you fit the criteria, you should definitely check them out. Obviously, the deadline may have passed by the time this podcast comes out, but I do urge you to look into their website and maybe just email them. Their email is nawirifellowship@gmail.com.
NNAWIRI fellowship. You should not spell fellowship.
Yeah. Or info@nawi.africa. And you can just hit them up and bro, like for me personally, I want to see the art and the creativity that comes out of being of if you do get a scholarship. If you do get a grant, or a stipend from these guys that affords you the ability to like create and everything, I'd love to see the art that comes out of that. So yeah, definitely do apply and
that's dope.
Look and
just dope. And sorry, just to add on that, like there are usually at the beginning of the year a lot of these come up. So as an artist, it's just to be cool to be on the lookout, and like apply. Like,
yes, sir.
It's not kept for a specific, what do you call it, type of person or anything. Like, it's just good to try your luck and apply, especially if you meet the criteria. So just look out for more of these. This one will have maybe the deadline might have passed, but then I'm sure there's a lot more that you can really do research, because some of these things having help in that way would help you push your music in different ways and your art as a whole. So it's just good to look those up.
Exactamundo.
It's good to look those up.
Is there anything else that you've seen that's been?
Yeah, there's something I wanted to bring up. This doesn't necessarily apply to the Kenyan market, but I found it super interesting. I think there is some crossover. So, I need to navigate this properly. There's an artist who is popular for stealing people's boyfriends.
Okay.
Her name is Ariana Grande, which is really. Oh no, I'm not doing that. No, those are too many bad jokes in a row. Ariana Grande recently released a song called "Yes and," which she tends to be taking a direction in terms of her naming. Like the last one was, what was it? Because of, what was it?
I don't know. I'm not clued up on Ariana Grande's
You're not up. Now I have to find it.
It was.
Thank you next. There we go.
Thank you next Thank you next came out a while ago.
Okay, and then Positions, and then Yes and. So she's kind of continuing that trend.
We're sounding like
it's very good, Ari. So anyway, she released her latest single called Yes and. Just walk quickly past it. Don't think about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah. So she released a single called Yes and. And I think it was 2 weeks ago she released it, but then now. Recently, this past week cycle release, I think it was Friday, she dropped a couple more versions of the song. Now, we've seen this happen in
Why do you think that is, Sam?
We've seen this happen in music where people would drop, then they'll probably drop an edit to it, or they'll drop the a cappella, they'll drop the instrumental, just to create more buzz. This young lady has dropped 8 new versions of the song. All right, so we have this main song, we have the edit, we have the extended mix, we have the sped up version, we have the a cappella. Hey, in case you didn't like the sped up version, we have the slowed version, we have the instrumental, then we have the extended mix instrumental. Now, there's rumors that there's 14 different versions, but officially on Spotify there's just 8. Okay, or on streaming there's just 8. I was looking at it and I'm like, it makes sense. All right, it makes sense to drop. But then my feeling, I automatically went to thinking about why you would do this. Because Ariana Grande has the numbers. She doesn't need to.
Yeah.
The song was released maybe, I want to say 2 weeks ago, if not a week ago, and it's on 66 million plays on Spotify alone, right? So that's, she brings in her numbers. Why Afam? Let's hypothesize here. Is that a word? Let's do some thinking. Why would you think she would... I wish you hadn't said it. Because now I feel it now. Let's hypothesize. Why do you think she would drop 8 versions and a possible 14 in your brain, in Afam's mind?
So I think what they're trying to do with Ariana Grande, I mean, okay, at this point, these guys have a lot of analytics, right?
Yeah.
One thing, I know a lot of people have been releasing slowed versions and sped up versions to really increase engagement on social media platforms. So there's this one song called Take It by Kafune that really, really did well on TikTok. especially the sped up version.
Yeah.
Like the sped up version did so well. Like that's actually, I think that's the first version I heard. I watch the moon make it run my moon. That's how it goes. So I think I heard the sped up version first before I even heard the actual version of the song,
Okay.
and it did wonders for them. We've also seen Victoni with Soweto. They
yeah.
did sped
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
versions.
They
They
did a
did
remix.
slowed down versions. Like, so one angle would be they're trying to increase engagement, right? TikToks, then so TikTok's using the slowed versions and the sped up versions. Then when it comes to like instrumentals, acapellas, that's for us, that's for the producers. Like producers, that's really an invitation.
Is it
for you
really?
to make
Because you can't really do
remixes.
anything with those,
Yes.
though.
You can't, but like people do still. People will still use those instrumentals and acapellas and make mixes and post them on YouTube, and it just spurs engagement in that
that's a
sense.
fact,
Right? So I think one angle would be definitely to increase the life cycle or the life just the life of the song itself, because all these iterations of the song are coming out. Another angle, which maybe like you kind of glanced on, would be to increase the streams. But then again, you look at the numbers don't really correlate, although one of them broke 1 million. Because the main song is the one that's done most of the bulk of the streams. But it could
And the rest
also
are super
be
low compared to that. Like they're not.
the rest. But then again, we live in a time when streaming. To do well in streaming, you have to have a high volume of streams.
Unfortunately.
So it could be that. That's kind of like even the meta that a lot of artists were doing. You look at like the Chris Browns and whatever releasing albums that have 24 songs. It's all a whole streaming game type of thing. Where you're trying to game the system. So it could be a bit of that as well mixed into it. But yeah, so for me, those are just like the surface level.
It's really interesting on your point. It's really interesting that
they could
even
be doing.
artists that are at that level, like Ariana Grande is like top 10 pop artists currently, right? Maybe even higher than that.
Yeah.
And they still have to if that's where we're going, they still have to result to doing the things that the bottom of the pile would be
the
doing.
peons,
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah. Hey, don't put me in there. I don't know why you just jumped to putting me in that
fine.
group.
The peons like me. The peons
See, now,
like me. The peons like me,
I shouldn't have pointed it out. I should have just let, because now it looks like I'm trying to be elitist and I'm not really. Elitist musically, which is stupid. I understand and I hear you, Afam. I think what they are doing is none of that.
You receive what I'm saying. You receive what I'm saying.
I receive, I internalize, and I absolutely throw it away because I don't think that's what
and
they
digest.
do.
Digest.
I'm supposed to digest first before I throw it away.
Yeah, first you digest.
Okay,
yeah.
I digest. Bro, what's okay? So now here's my thoughts. Okay. I do think I came across someone else's opinion on it and opinions on it, and it made sense. I think what they're trying to do is because labels and artists place a lot of value in being in numbers, not numbers in terms of like streaming, but then being like a number one or winning that Grammy and all that stuff. So I do think that partly what they're doing, if there are 14 versions, I think what they're doing is, first of all, 14 versions, bro. Like, that's crazy. What they're trying to do is increase their chances of getting like on a billboard. And they're probably trying to do that quickly. And that's one way to do it, because the more she's on and she would occupy a lot of spaces on that list. And so like she's inevitable to be number one. Now, that's cool and that's fine. And we know the music industry runs off numbers and it's not really about the art. But personally, I feel like that kind of dilutes music when we're chasing numbers. I feel like it dilutes music. So it's cool. Like, and we've seen singles that have come out with different versions. You have the edit, you have the speed up. But then when you have just a whole bunch of things that obviously looks like you're trying to trying to game the system in that way. It just comes off as, all right, so at what do you guys really care about the music, or are you just chasing that number one spot? And that's kind of where I'm stuck. Like I appreciate a few versions. I just don't know where the thought process lies. Oh, the thought process lies in going for the number one rather than making the music itself greater. Like that's what I would think would be more important. I don't know if you have an opposing view, but that's kind of that's how I think about it. It's just weird.
Game the system, man. Game the system,
oh boy.
bro. Game the system.
What do you mean? What do you mean game the system?
First of all, yeah, get all the number ones. And first of all, Billboard is like, they just come up with rules. Like today they decide bundles are not a thing. Tomorrow they decide, you know what, bundles.
But isn't that what do you call it? A point to not think about that anymore, because they're really just sleeping and waking up and thinking, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Like that makes it unstable.
Yeah, so even me I can decide to play games. So I'm gonna decide, like even like with Taylor Swift, when they decided to sell, what did they do? You had to buy 4 different albums.
Yeah.
No, 4 different vinyls, but it was the same album, but all of them you were building like a clock. So you had to buy 4 of them. And I mean, it's the same music, but you're just really like gaming the system. They found a innovative way to make people purchase more, and therefore their numbers were way up. You know what I mean?
Do you think
play the game? Do you think you need to play the game?
Do you think,
like also for Ariana's team, right? If you have like, and this is for all the music people, like if your music debuts top 10, number 1, if you get the number 1 album, whatever, that greatly impacts your leverage for the next projects. Because you see, these people they're in deals with labels. And so you go to the label, you say, listen, my previous project, my previous single debuted on number 1. This is how much I'm worth. This is how much you guys should be investing in my next releases, my blah, 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 blah. It gives you so much more leverage when the numbers are on your side.
So at what point does the art become important?
The art is always important, but the business is importanter. I'm sorry, I'm joking. I'm joking a little. Okay. I'm joking, but I'm really not.
Yeah.
I'm joking, but I'm really not. That's just the thing. Music business is a huge thing, and there's a lot of money to be made.
It's really honestly a game, is what it is. It's so annoying.
There's so many careers at stake outside of just the music, the artists themselves.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man, there's a lot of money to me, and these things can really greatly impact, like, you know, like you get a number 1, you get another number 1, then they put in way more. So then also listen, it goes back into the art, because if they're investing, like if they would have invested 100,000 into your next single, but then you got the number 1s, you have the meetings, they see, okay, you know what, your high value will invest 200,000. That gives you the leeway to create even better art with better facilities, have more studio time. Right? Right? So even the art can be...
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't agree. I hear you. I just don't agree. So I'll just read something. So someone had commented on this, and it's like, while this is not new to it's not new to artists, right? Like this is something that's done. So it's a common practice these days for major musicians to employ this plan to ensure that the biggest debut possible on the Billboard charts, which we know. So that means that the sale of all 14 versions of Hi Yes and will be grouped together into one release. So it's still the numbers game, even though they're playing for the number 1 or whatever. That number 1 is still going to bring in money, right? So fans have the option to buy all of them. However, the problem with this, when they do this very obviously, it takes away from the organics and the magic of the win. And organics and magic is closer to artistry than the business side of it. I don't know if that makes sense. It seems like a very obvious, like you can look at it and you're like, okay, this is obviously a play. So now artists are like, all right, I know what your goal is here, and it seems like it's not just the music. And some people don't mind. Other people are like, I don't care. I'm of the mind of the side. I'm at the side where like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, bro. Listen, hey, I get it.
Listen, the song.
I get it, but I just don't like it. That's it. I get it. I just don't like it.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Listen, Sam, I receive what you're saying.
Okay.
And
you have received
accept
it.
your point of view.
Have you internalized it?
I am currently
digesting it. All right. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
Speaking of music, I don't know if there's anything else.
Speaking of music, new music,
Yay.
bro. Sam, what were the artists from Kenya
First off, we need to bring
making
back
that was
remixes.
so compelling?
Like remixes have fallen off. We need to bring
okay.
back remixes, bro.
Uh-huh.
Just give us like a
Why?
remix
Why do you say
version.
that?
Don't give us a slowed version, a sped up version. Just give us the song and the remix.
You're still going on about
Thank
that,
you.
Sam. Mia was already in new music.
You had moved on. Oh, my bad. Hey, new music. Shout out to KC. Of course, we laud him here on the podcast.
KC.
Yeah, KC, if you don't know KC he was on Kanye's Donda album. He's worked with numerous different people up there. And he recently just released a song with Joey Bad. I say Joey Bad. Oh man, that's bad. Called Passports and Suitcases? Passport. I want to get it right.
I just found his real name. Do I put his government
I
name
don't know,
there?
dog. Do you? I don't know.
But it's right there. It's on Wikipedia.
Okay. Well, if it's
right
public
there.
information, then we can make it publica. I guess.
Mark Makora Mbogo, aka KC Pluto.
Yeah. There's actually I watched an
new music
interview of
from Joey
his.
Badass.
I watched an interview of
Fire.
his where he explained the name Casey. I don't particularly remember it, so I probably shouldn't have brought it up. But he said I think he got that from his mama. Shout out to Casey, man. Shout out to Casey. Passports and Suitcases. It's just called Sea Winds, bro.
Man,
It's
I
called Sea
listened to
Winds.
this and I was like, this is so familiar.
Yeah.
And obviously they used the instrumental. Well, they added like the drums were different, but they used the Good and Plenty instrumental by Alex Isley. There was also a remix with Alex Isley and Masejo.
Masego.
It's Masego. It's Masego.
So what?
And no, you're supposed to pronounce it Masego like that. Anyway, he said.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, the song was originally produced by Jack Dine.
Hey.
Jack Dine is so fire.
Yep.
Like I've literally spent hours trying to produce like Jack Dine.
Hours.
But yeah, shout out to everything that happened to make this release a thing. So,
Fire.
shout out to everyone involved.
Saru released a song called Pande Ile. I was going to say Pande Ile. But Pande Ile, I think it matters how you say words in Swahili.
That side.
That side, yes. Shout out to her. Bien and It's Yaba released a song called Nashanga. It's produced by So Fresh is on the beat. I really like that. Nashanga.
Were you shocked when you listened to the song?
No, I wasn't. Not at all. Jeez. So it's Saba. It's Yaba rather. It's Saba. It's Yaba says that he's trying to do his version of music is called Benga. Oh no, was it called? Let me not get that right. That wrong. Is it? Rumba cane, not Benga cane. I don't know what I was saying. Benga. Rumba cane.
Or Rumba cane.
So Rumba and sugar cane apparently is what it's in his bio.
Because it's sweet.
Sweet music. So I really enjoyed that. Bien is always a good listen. I think they did a really cool. It's a cool collaboration, man. I enjoy that. I'd like to listen to that outside. Boutros, Booty. What are his other nicknames? Do you know? Does he have any?
It's usually just Booty.
Okay, so Boutros. Boutros released a song called Intro Freestyle. If it's called Intro Freestyle, then I think we can think, or we have the what do you call it? The free reign to hypothesize that
You're
maybe
really
I don't know why. I just feel
word.
like there shouldn't be extra syllables on that word, but they are. So Intro Freestyle by Boutros. Is that the intro to the album? Could it be?
Yeah, I think so. I think he mentioned like Mtindo is on the way.
Okay, that's fire. So definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to the drops and the eventual project. So yeah, that's super cool. What else? Nick Agesa released a song called Susanna. That was interesting to listen to. Sherehe by Dark Lord, Colossal Music, and Landmark. That was also released.
Did you say Lady Fiona?
I did, in fact,
Cobham's
not.
Sauti Soul as well.
I did not. No. Yeah. Sauti Soul are still dropping music.
Yeah. Okay. I thought they disbanded.
Yeah. What did they just say? They're dropping music. It's a different South Soul.
There was Lele by Kushman. Yeah, received that with the mixed.
Received,
Anyway,
internalized, received, digested.
Yes, yeah. There was Jungle Walk by The Angels, Idaziz and Keller Kind.
Yeah.
Actually, Idaziz released twice because the
He's back on
second
his
song,
game.
Limby. Oh, Limby by
That was your
Barino, Laquista, and Idaziz. That was my
that's your
vibe.
that's
I was
your cup of tea.
bopping to that.
Yeah.
Bro, that was my cup of chai.
It was a good song.
Bro,
It was a good
that
song.
was just so... like the melody, just everything. I really, really enjoyed listening to that, man. So shout out to everyone who was involved
Fire.
with that, 'cause, bruh. Whew.
Fire.
I don't even usually listen to EDM like that, but like that one was like,
That's cool, man. Shout out to
or
them.
dance stuff. Yeah, that was cool.
Shout out to Ed. Hopefully you can catch one too.
Oh, and then lastly, I listened to 925
Yeah.
with Licky and Mr. Right. Mr. Right from Brooklyn Boys. So yeah, that was hard. It was a tough listen. So shout out to them.
Fire, man, fire. I think for of course we didn't mention it. So Blinky Bill is coming out with is dropping his, I think it's next week. This week?
Okay.
This week Friday, when you're listening to this. This week Friday. He's dropping
sometime this month.
Yeah, he's dropping We Cut Keys, I think that's the name of it. We Cut Keys 2. So yeah, so he dropped a single off the project. It's called Get the Paper. And boy, oh boy, should I tell you, the funk on this was crazy. Like the bounce, the swing. It's produced by him and another artist, emawk, who I don't know if we've talked about him before. I don't think we've talked about him before.
Kwame.
But we've had conversation about him.
Backwards is
Kwame
emawk.
Backwards. Shout out to him. This I really enjoyed, man. The instrumental of this joint was, first of all, it just gets you
It's so
moving
beautiful,
immediately.
man.
Like it just gets you moving. It
Yeah.
wastes no time to get you to the groove. So yeah, I really enjoyed Get the Paper, and just makes me excited to see what he has for the project. Of course, Blinky Bill, if y'all don't know, is it 1/4 or 1/3? I should get this right. Of Just a Band, the legendary Just a Band. So it's always cool. It's cool to hear music from either one of them. Last year towards the end, Jim Chuchu released some music. It's good to see Blinky Bill releasing music.
Remember we played Just a Band on the podcast.
Yeah. So
from the Echo, I think the thing was called Echo.
yeah, it was. And Jim released
project.
solo music also.
Yeah,
He released solo music. We also talked
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, so I think for this episode we shall play Blinky Bill's Get the Paper. It's a fire song. Shout out to you, Blinky. Here is Get the Paper by Blinky Bill.
Let's go now. To get the paper, I've been sleeping on myself. I see that fashion killer under 14, tell I'm on a trooper. Nasi the pooper, looking at the time, put it in the line. AI, something in the air, it's a magical chaser. Hata siski, hebu pump it again. Government keys and about to increase them. Oh yeah, wake up, time to get the paper. Oh yeah, wake up, time to get the paper. Oh yeah, wake up, time to get the paper. Oh yeah, wake up, time to get the paper.
Kuna kitu umetafuta miaka nenda miaka rudi, na ukawa hauipati, ukawa umekata jasho na umechoka, na saa zile umerelax ukasema haitawahi patikana, inaenda kujileta yenyewe. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, wake up, get the paper. Oh yeah, wake up, get the paper. Oh yeah, wake up, get the paper. Ndani ya kanina shumbukoni, sema darararira tena leo sindi home bila pesa mkononi, sema darararira cause I'm running till I get my shot, running till I get my shot, running till I get my win. Man, there is no in between. Nigga pick the cassava really soon. Take the elephant back to the room. Rusha won't be on a sunny afternoon. the paper.
That was Get the Paper by Blinky Bill. Extremely funky
Fire.
music. That bass line, bro. Oof. And then the random, what I like, the random horns. The random sound like French horns. That's just so fire, man. It sounds very well produced.
Yeah.
Sounds very well produced. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him leveling up the
Yeah.
production game. Yep.
Sam,
What up?
how does it feel to complete yet another episode of the 30% podcast?
Our 60 minutes of fame are over.
Yeah, our 60 minutes of fame are over. But before they completely end, I wanted to just
Before they
bring
completely end.
to attention
One more thing.
Just before they completely end. One more thing. Did you ever watch Jackie Chan's Adventures?
Yes, that's a reference.
Oh, one more thing. Anyway,
such nice.
glad to see we can relate on
We're
something.
men of the culture.
That was nice. Men of culture. But on a serious
Speaking of
note,
culture.
though, one more thing. I mean, we can't oversee the recent state of affairs, especially affecting women within the country. And just wanted to point out that it's unfortunate that women have to experience these things, and all as we can do as men is support and empathize, because for me as a man, I don't have to do so much mental maths just living my life, but women do.
Yeah.
When they're entering maths, when they're walking outside and all that type of stuff, they have to do all this type of stuff. And it's unfortunate for the women that have lost their lives in the past few weeks. We've heard about the Airbnb stuff that happened, and that stuff is definitely despicable. It's evil, and
It's craziness.
and it's femicide, like the women have been pointing out. And there is a march on the 27th, which is a Saturday, I believe. Next Saturday, I believe, organized by Usikimye. And essentially, it's a walk just to kind of end the femicide that's been going on. And Sam and I just felt like it's something that we should just point out and just kind of say and bring to attention using our platform.
Yeah.
End femicide in Kenya, and let's protect our women. Let's just be more responsible with how we care about women and how we treat women.
Be
in our
more
society.
responsible with life overall, I think.
Yeah, with life. So we just wanted to point that out.
Yep.
And just point out the march that's happening. And But yeah, Sam,
That was
episode 60.
that was
Yeah.
unfortunately it's just. But hey, I mean, not that it doesn't matter, but then let's end it on a.
Yeah.
End it on a.
Yeah, I know. But bro, listen, episode 60. We're now in the 60s.
We're now in our
Bro,
60s. The balding is really showing.
I know, we're in our psychedelic. Oh, actually, I didn't think about we're in our psychedelic era. Like, you know how people did psychedelics in the 60s, LSD.
What's the reference? I
Hippie
don't know.
culture was on the rise.
Was that in the 60s?
Yeah, that was in
Not
the
the 70s. I feel like
The
I feel like
hippie
the
era.
hippie wasn't it the 70s?
No, it was the 60s. That's when it started.
Okay.
Part of the
Afam is
70s,
telling me that
yes, but
very,
the 60s is
very,
when.
very sternly. So I guess it's telling the truth.
Yeah, matter of factly. Yes, Sam. Like I am saying,
I am
this
internalizing
as a
it.
matter of
I
fact.
have digested it, and I agree
And
with
you
you.
are receiving
I've
it.
received
right?
it.
Night.
Yep.
Nice. Why can't I? I said rice and then I said night. I can't speak. Anyway,
That might be an indication
guys,
to end the podcast.
That is an indication. It's also because I'm hungry. It's lunchtime.
Our stomach is rumbling, bro. Don't say that.
Yeah. I will bid
Hunger
you
is
guys
like yawning.
farewell.
When you see one man hungry. All right, man. Let's end.
Okay. Oh my God.
Let's end this. Let's get out of here, man. Hey, thank you everyone for listening to this. We do this so we can highlight Kenyan music and the Kenyan industry.
Fine.
And
Hunger is like yawning because it's contagious. Sorry.
yes,
Fine.
so that we can oh gosh. So that we can highlight Kenyan music and put some of the things that aren't on the map. If you know people who are influencers and who are influencers in the music industry, these are conversations to have with them. You can point them to the podcast. Hey, there's two guys talking about it online. But yeah, we really enjoy doing this and bringing this to you, and we hope that our goals in just playing our part to make sure that the Kenyan industry grows and just is better for all involved. We hope that those goals
sorry, Bob.
are achieved. Thank you for listening. Bye. What's wrong with you? Yes,
Goodbye,
sorry,
guys.
Bob. What's that?